Hi everybody, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and I wanted to let everybody know that I have added something to my website. I don't know if you visit me on a regular basis, but now there's a better reason to. I will be posting a daily horoscope that is basically for everybody. This has to do with the transits of the planets in the heavens and the aspects that they are making and how they would be affecting society as a whole. I feel like writing daily horoscopes for individual sun signs is kind of a fruitless effort because everybody's chart is different. You could be a Leo sun sign, for example, but have your Mercury and Venus in one of the adjacent signs and not feel very much like a Leo. And let's say you have an Aquarius ascendant in your chart and you happen to be a Scorpio, and if you're reading Scorpio horoscopes, you're going to be off base. You should be reading for your Aquarius ascendant. And the how, the why of it all is complex to spend a whole video on talking about right now, but I feel like this is going to give you more of what's going on and how people in general will be behaving, because it is based on primarily the transits of the moon, which affects the emotional tone of society as a whole, the aspects that the transiting moon will be making to the other planets in the heavens, and what those other aspects are in the heavens and how they might be influencing everybody. So if you want to keep tabs on what's going on daily, you can visit me at alohaastro.com or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, all of these things here. I'm basically cross-posting daily. So this is the full moon in Virgo, and you can read the daily horoscope on there. And then my page starts underneath with information about booking a reading. And I also wanted to show you something I have added under astrology because somebody recently asked. So you asked and I created it. This would be a transit to natal chart quickie recording. Just the way you're looking at the screen right now and hearing me talk, that's what the reading is like. It's the format that the reading is in, and it looks at what's going on in your chart. And it would generally be about a half an hour long because I go over all the planets and what they're doing as they're moving through your chart, and I mention whether things are short-term, long-term, and it may help you with questions of timing or when you might want to do things and just to see what's happening in your life. So if you don't want to be on the phone with me and you want something that you can listen to again and again to review, I do share it into Dropbox as a video. And any charts that I use in the recording also get shared within that Dropbox file. So let's take a look at what's going on in the heavens now with our full moon. It's in Virgo, and it is opposing all these Pisces planets right now. We have the Sun, Neptune, Mercury, Venus, Chiron, all in Pisces. So we have a lot of that watery energy. Pisces is the sign that likes to beautify, heal, or inspire, and has some big boundary issues. Pisces is literally all over the place. There are no boundaries. It's a very sensitive and intuitive sign and very imaginative and creative. And with the opposition right now to the moon in Virgo, Virgo is an earth sign that is also mutable like Pisces, and mutable means adjustable, adaptable, flexible. I look at the mutable signs as being the Ways and Means Committee members of the zodiac. Virgo wants to prioritize, define, sort, organize, get down to what is essential, find out how to fix things that are broken, and looks at the smaller things, whereas Pisces wants to encompass all. And somewhere in between is the middle ground. So each of these signs can learn something from the other. Within every Pisces, there is Virgo energy waiting to be revealed, and within every Virgo, there is the Pisces energy that is waiting to be revealed or can be called upon. So that is always something to contemplate at a full moon, the oppositions of things and how to avoid going from one extreme to the other especially in areas of your life where this full moon and the sun might be in position right now in the houses of your own chart. So if you know your houses, if you know your rising sign, take a look and see where the sun and all these Pisces planets are right now, and where the moon and Virgo is in your chart, and you will know which houses or areas of life are going to have the most significance for you. On a general level, the main issues here are about practicality and getting real and finding out how to make something happen. And also what I feel that this moon is very keyed into is accepting the things that already are and using or utilizing the tools that you have in order to move forward, that you can't go to your dream or your goal without first looking at what you have. What came into my head actually was that TV show, I think it's called Survivor. I've never watched one episode all the way through, but the people are put on an island and they're given certain things and they have to improve things. They have to make things better. They have to survive, basically. And this is what I think the full moon is bringing forward for us, is that when we accept what is, and then we look at our resources, we start making some real practical strides toward getting ahead and going after our dreams. We can't just sit in the dream state and wish and hope and affirm and imagine and all of that and think that it's magically going to happen. A teacher of mine who taught science of mind classes said that in terms of making a spiritual mind treatment, you have to treat and then move your feet. So we can trust that God or Spirit, our guides and angels, are there to work on our behalf. But what are we doing? What are we actually doing to make something happen? And I think it takes a certain amount of wisdom, maturity to understand that we're still going to have to work, or that this is what we have right now. And in order for things to improve or change and get better, as this quincunx here between Uranus, which wants change in Aries, it's looking for something new and original. It makes this aspect here to Jupiter in Scorpio. Scorpio is trying to dig underneath and find out, how to make something more successful or more powerful, or what's making something work, and how to produce those changes, how to go for growth and change in a way that's not going to be destructive, but actually fertile or supportive, because this is a very fertile and stubborn water sign that wants to see improvement in a real way and doesn't want to waste energy. One thing I see with Scorpio is they don't like to waste things, whether it's money, time. They're very resourceful. So the idea that, yes, we should be changing and growing, we want something new, we have these visions and hopes and dreams, and we want something better, we're seeking improvement, as this trine here between Jupiter and Mercury conjunct Venus and Chiron is seeking to improve things, perhaps grow in a love relationship or increase finances. The area of your life that you would find Scorpio and Pisces in your chart will tell you more where you're seeking your own individual improvement. They both these energies here of Scorpio and Pisces are making sextiles to Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is very determined. It is a planet of strength, power, determination, will, force. It can be very volatile. It can also be expressed as fear, sudden outbursts of drama or anger. It intensifies anything it makes an aspect to. So Pluto here, even though these are minor aspects, is feeding energy to Jupiter and to Mercury and Venus. So it's saying, come on, come on, come on. You can find a way. You can find a way. You can do it. You can do it. And the moon today is making a trine to Saturn in Capricorn. And Saturn in Capricorn is parked in its own sign. It's stronger there because it rules Capricorn. So there can be a lot of striving in our lives right now, a lot of seriousness and importance and weight being placed upon something. And again, whatever house you have this in right now, that you have this transiting, will show where you are getting dead serious about something, where it's really, really important that things work out the way you want them to, or where you might be dealing with a problem that has to be dealt with, that cannot be avoided. So here it seems that we're not going to be able to avoid something. And even if we have some conflict, as this opposition might show, on the emotional level, with wanting to see, maybe we want the easy way out. Maybe we want our dreams to just manifest. But we know that if we work a bit, we're probably going to get at least what we need. And it might not be perfect or ideal, but it's going to be realistic or lasting. The idea of endurance, or something that lasts, something that is going to remain, is what I see primarily in the chart, that anything that we lay down now foundationally is going to be strong enough to build upon. Mars in Sagittarius squares Mercury and Venus and Chiron, and this can bring a little bit of impatience, frustration, getting tired of waiting, maybe a little bit of disappointment, or, hey, wait a minute, this isn't happening the way I thought it would. It isn't exactly what I want. And some whinging and whining and complaining, whether you're doing it or somebody else is doing it. And the petty little frustrations, I look at this as when I have a fly in my kitchen and I'm trying to cook for a group of people. And boy, does that annoy me when there's a fly in my kitchen. So in some ways, there's a fly in our kitchen that's making it a little bit harder to get things underway and keep on track without a break in our concentration. I think that the full moon and the energy that it comes in on can help us to focus, help us to deal with the distractions, and get more clearly defined on what it is that we want and we need, so that we get stronger, smarter, better. We may not have exactly our dreams in the way that we wish, but I think ultimately we would feel deeply satisfied with the way things progress and what they bring us in the future. Saturn being involved here with the moon also looks at the long term. We're not looking at something that's just short-lived. We don't want something for the moment. We want, if we make a commitment now, we're looking at forever. If we break up, then we're doing it seriously. If we're changing a job, it's got to be for more money or an improvement in our lives in terms of our reputation and status and our ability to reach a higher level and grow. Absolutely. Anything that we take on now, it shows that we're going to have to do some work to pursue what we're doing. But there's kind of like no backseas and no backing down, and only dealing with some minor frustrations and having to maybe, pull up our britches and get down to it and accept that what is. And if we want to change, how do we use what we have right now? Because everything else is out there in just the realm of potential or possibility. But to make it real, we have to deal. So that's what's going on in the heavens. And let's look at the Sabian symbol. We round up from the 11 degrees and 23 minutes to Virgo 12 degrees. After the wedding, the groom snatches the veil away from his bride, the penetrating and unveiling power of the trained mind. In contrast to the preceding symbol, we have now a scene stressing a physical action with psychological and or spiritual overtones. In ancient cosmologies, the male god often appears in three roles as son, husband, and father of the woman element of nature. Nature is fulfilled by the human mind and will that overcome her. She resists only better to be subdued by the power that transcends her, and by transcending her gives her a spiritual meaning. The element of training in the symbolic scene comes from the fact that there has been a marriage ritual. Thus, the socio-cultural factor is in the background. The teacher guru is here the priest who has performed the ritual. At this second stage, the rules are reversed, the masculine element assuming the dynamic positive part in the great play of polarity. The masculine act balances the feminine dream visualization. The key word is unveiling. There can also be an unveiling of mysteries, long protected by secrecy. Now, that does make sense with a lot that we see here. The unveiling, the seeking of the more practical, and here we have what is the vision or the dream. So there can definitely be an unveiling of what you are seeking to know, or taking your spirituality and putting it into some practical purpose. The idea of nature and how it works with man reminds me of the Perelandra Garden Workbooks by Michelle Small-Wright, which are not just about gardening. And for anybody interested in a co-creative process in working with the energy of nature in your daily life, and you don't have to be a gardener to go do that. All it requires is for mankind to get back to a relationship with the elements and the divas and the energy of nature and become co-creative, that together there is meant to be a co-evolution between humans and nature, and that we have become separate from that far too much in our present society. And Michelle Small-Wright's books definitely can put you on the path of understanding how to acknowledge and work with nature, and nature will help you in what you seek to achieve in your life as well, whether it's better health or better relationships or better progress in life in your work or career. Consider looking into those books. So that is the Sabian Symbol. And what I get from it today is the importance of nature. And I definitely see nature being represented here through what we have with the earth and the water being predominant in the chart here. We have a lot of earth going on, a lot of water going on, and water feeds earth. This has to do with the growth and the sustainability, what keeps us going, and how can we grow, and how can we sustain it. Also, how can we reach out to other people? And I think there may be some, either you need to ask for some help or assistance, and when we need to do that, it can be a very humbling thing. It can also give us lessons as to why we shouldn't perhaps be dismissive of other people, why we should always keep an open mind about others, because you don't know who you might have to talk to or ask for help at some point in your life, to set the judgments aside in your relationships. Also, if somebody comes to you seeking assistance, then it may be that whether you have a deep relationship with them or not, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that somebody needs your help. And if you are able to give it, then it really is upon you to do what you can to assist somebody who might need your help. And through that, we gain. It's a win-win thing. It really is. We get back to the idea that we are not separate and alone, and that we can help each other, and that we can grow together and build constructive and supportive relationships. And this is not about codependency or things being based on neediness, but rather it's about acknowledging that we all at times do need help and assistance, and that we can't do things entirely on our own or alone, that the strength of society and the strength of families, the strength of other organizations comes about through people helping each other. So everybody have a wonderful full moon. And I will be talking to you very soon about the Mercury retrograde, which will be coming up.